everyone, TNT here. All right, so here it is, the first day of the dual CR250 builds. We're going to tear down the complete bike. If you watched the last video, you know that the other bike is basically in parts as it is, but we need to get this one torn down so that I can restructure my shop a little bit and do these two builds at the same time. Looking at a few of the comments from the last video, it looks like what people want is basically the same thing that I wanted to do during these builds. And we're going to have the parts basically sitting side by side as we restore / rebuild or replace them. I think what I really would like to do, depending on time and finances, is the motors first, side by side on the bench, doing both of them at the same time. But you never know, I may have to bounce back and forth because the motors are going to take parts. Some of the other things just take restoration, sandblasting, painting. I have all of those tools. Some of the plastic will need to be refinished. And then there's some cool things that I want to do with this project to involve the subscribers basically on my bike. Not so much on the OEM build, but my bike. I want to involve the subscribers and viewers a little bit, as much as I want to try and get as many companies involved in assisting me with building that bike. Okay, so let's get this thing torn down and get the shop set up to be able to start building these. All right, so we're not going to be going in any particular order here of how we do this. I'm not going to be trying to save everything. So things like the grips, they're just getting cut off. This is actually a very nice set of Renthal handlebars that I may wind up keeping. All right, so the throttle housing's in good shape. Just needs to be painted again, but the throttle tube definitely has to be changed out. Looks like this number plate's been painted, so may or may not be the original, probably not. But this one will be scrapped. It's broken right there. Kill switch is still in good shape. I don't see any issues there. This part here, I'll have to get a new one of these. I actually think I have that part of it, but no sense replacing that. The rest of it is all in perfectly good condition. Check out the brake line on this thing. That's nuts. So I'll be getting rid of this altogether. This is definitely not off of this bike. It's actually a nice set of Renthal handlebars. There's nothing wrong with those. They don't look to be bent, so definitely going to hang on to those. So this one here is broken right there. This is just going to get thrown into the pile of giveaways. And same thing goes with this rear fender. It's broken there and there. Somebody might want it, so I'll just post it for free. It's in pretty rough shape. Again, this rad shroud is cracked. Be another giveaway piece. These washers in particular right here are something you definitely want to save. They've got a bit of a step to them, and they're specifically designed for your fenders so that they don't wear them out and cause a big hole. Now that fender's actually in really good condition. It's been painted, but I can strip that paint and I can fix it back up. I won't be using it for this build, but it will definitely be something that I can save for another bike later on down the road should I need it. These fenders were the same on a lot of bikes, so definitely something that's in that good a shape I want to hang on to. That rad shroud is actually in not too bad a shape. This side panel is actually in very good condition. It's still got the rubber pieces on the bottom for going up against the exhaust, or pardon me, on the back for going up against the exhaust, and overall it's in great shape. I'll probably hang on to this one as well and restore it. All right, overall, fuel tank's in very good condition. Cap's in great shape. It's got a bit of a gouge on that side. Nothing serious. Be able to clean that up. All right, let's have a look at this exhaust. We got a minor dent right there. The end cap is in absolute perfect condition. I'm not too worried about that dent. That dent is covered up by the number plate. So I think I'm just going to restore this for the OEM bike. You know, being original and hard to find, I'm quite happy that that is in that good a condition. We'll use our handy dandy little spring puller tool here. I think this one is made by Tusk. I'm sure there's some other companies that have it. If you don't have one of those, these are a very handy little tool. They just make it easier than putting a pair of pliers on the end. And that's pretty much it for the pipe. So the pipe, she's got some dents in it right there, but I know some people that are pretty capable of removing these dents to within reason. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to get it looking like brand new, and I might actually attempt to do this this year by myself. It looks like I may have a crack in this pipe right here somewhere. I'll have to have a look at it once I get it all cleaned up, because I got a lot of exhaust coming out of there. But I know trying to get a pipe like this, unless I go brand new FMF or order up a pro circuit and wait till a bunch of orders come in, it'll be hard to get one. And all right, subframe looks to be in pretty good shape. Does not look like it's got a bend to it at all, which is great. Airbox, it's all in good shape. Just needs to be completely cleaned and shined up. There we go. Alright, we got it off. So looking at the radiator, I don't see any serious issues with this rad at all. I can clean up all of the little fins in between. There's no serious bends, so no sense replacing these. All right, so I'm not sure if this is a special Honda tie right here, or if it is just something you buy at a hardware store, but I'm going to try and save it if I can. First I got to figure out how it works. I think it's got a little tab that I can basically lift up and then just pull it through. Yeah, okay. So there, I was able to get that off. I don't know if that's a Honda product or not, but we saved it. All right, we got another one of those clips down here. So with two of them on here, now I'm really believing that it is a Honda product. So it's got a little tab right here. You can just lift it up. You don't even need a screwdriver. It's just got a little tab right there. You just lift that up and you can slide it right out. I can see I got an issue here already with the intake boot. It's going to need to be replaced. So hopefully that's going to be an easy item to get. All right, let's crack this nut on the swing arm bolt, and hopefully it moves smoothly, because they don't always. Well, I tell you, I'm glad I had this big breaker bar, because that was a lot of pressure to get that nut to move. That bolt is not moving at all. So what that means is the bolt is basically seized into the inner bushing of the swing arm bearings. And this can take some serious hitting. All right, guys, so after 2 days of using Seafoam Deep Creep, my sacrificial extension, which is now completely destroyed, my socket that fit over top of the swing arm bolt nut, and basically on the end of that bolt and nut with a nice big hammer like that, continually beating on it, and it has now moved, and I think it's going to come out. So we're going to stand the bike back up, put it on the stand, and I should be able to get that bolt out. I can feel it moving. And we're just gonna have to go back to putting some more deep creep in there, and we will come back to it at a later time. All right, guys, it is now day number 3 of trying to get this swing arm bolt out, and I haven't started on it yet, but this is what I did yesterday. This is one of my punches I've now modified to be able to drop down inside the center. Now I put a lot of deep creep in here, so hopefully this moves. Let's see what happens. Just show you how hard I'm hitting this. I just caught the edge of my punch. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm hitting this with some pretty severe force. Okay, so this bolt, it just does not want to come out at all. This is now day 3, so I got to come up with another plan. Looking at the bottom of the frame, it is completely shot. I didn't even notice that until a few minutes ago because I never really looked at it. So I'm not worried about the frame at all. I really don't care about the frame. I'd like to make sure that I save the swing arm. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to remove everything from the frame. We'll get the forks off, and we'll get the rear shock off, get the rear tire off. So basically all we're dealing with is the swing arm and the motor and the frame. Let's look at that thing, guys. There's been no lubrication on that bolt for a while. It looks like the steering stem here has got a lot of lubrication, so I think that this is actually going to go quite well. And this is just going to drop right out. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it did definitely drop right out. Lots of lubrication in there. All right, so this is something I've never really understood. I see it in a lot of YouTube videos. These bearings literally turn that far. That's it. Nothing else. And if you've got a good seal on the bottom and you got a good seal on top, you're not going to get dirt in there. You're not going to get water in there. And you're not going to have to worry about those bearings going bad. This is an excessive amount of grease for this area. unbelievably excessive. You know, get a bunch of grease on your bearings. I mean, if you want to put a little bit on your stem, thinking that maybe, you know, it's going to drop down and go into your bottom bearing, go ahead, but it's not going to climb back up and go into your top bearing. That is, that's excessive. Definitely not needed. All right, so the end of day 3 here is where we are at. The bolt in the swing arm is completely seized inside there. The bolt for the swing arm linkage to the frame is completely seized in there. And the bolt for the dog bone is completely seized into the frame as well. So I'm going to give it about a week worth of putting deep creep, move it, and whatever else I can find. Because sometimes it just takes time. You just got to let that stuff soak in, and then you give it one whack and away it goes. Just let you have a look here at the bottom of the frame. This frame is completely shot. I will not be able to use this frame at all. I would have to take it into a machine shop and have them redo the bottom of it. So I'm just going to find a different frame. I've actually found one. I contacted a guy. He's got to get it out of storage, see what the bottom looks like. And I don't care if the bottom's dented. It really doesn't bother me at all. But I definitely can't have holes in the bottom of the frame. That doesn't work. All right, guys, it is day number 4. Before I put the camera on, I thought I would just give the bolts a couple of whacks. The swing arm bolt is definitely not moving, but the dog bone bolt I was able to get moving, so I figured I better start the camera back up. I moved it about an inch and she's about ready to come out. So there we go. We got the dog bone off. No, it's definitely not moving. So flip it back over. And hopefully it penetrates it. All right, guys, just got back from the store and we have a bigger hammer. I got a 2.5 pound hammer this time. So the hammer I was using, probably 1 pound, maybe less, and 2.5 pounds. So let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't miss and bust the case. Wow. I don't think it's moving, guys. I think I'm actually, look at that. I am bending the punch right over, and I think the bolt may actually be mushrooming to one side. I do not think it is moving at all. Oh, missed it there. Wow. Oh, guys, check this out. This is hilarious. I cannot believe this. I should have known better. I don't have my big vise set up. I had this little 4-inch vise that that I had set up on the bench here, and check that out. I snapped that sucker right in half. Wow. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm tightening it up, and then I don't think it's really bending, and then the jaws looked a little weird because this didn't snap right off. It was actually sitting back a little ways like that, and I went, oh, it's a little off. Like it was about like that, and I'm like, oh wow. Well, that's it for that vise. All right, I just took it outside and laid it down on a piece of concrete and straightened it out. So here we go again. Wow, look at that. Bending it over again. It's definitely moved. I'm down about, I'm a little ways in there. I gotta straighten this out though, because I'm worried I'm not even gonna be able to get this down inside the frame. It is moving. All right, I think we got it. Oh, there we go, we got it. All right. Fantastic. Let's have a look at that. Have a look at how far that thing mushroomed over. Wow. The bolt itself is actually in not bad shape. All right, well, that makes me extremely happy. So that's 4 days, guys. Now, I probably could have cut it down if I would have started with a bigger hammer to start with. That was some serious beating, though. I also had to make, you know, a special punch. You can probably buy them like that, but I got so many punches lying around. Look at how much I beat that punch over getting that thing out. That's probably squashed out at least a half, or pardon me, a 1/4 inch to get that thing out. There we go. All right. Let's have a look at this swing arm. See what kind of condition it's in. Well, right up here we have a little bit of chain wear, but I'm not that worried about it. I'll keep this swing arm for myself. I think the other one is in better shape at the front. That'll be for the OEM bike. All right, there we go. Okay. Alright guys, that's going to complete the teardown of the 89 CR250. The other bike has already been torn down, so I won't need to be getting into that one. Next video, we'll be tearing down this motor as well as getting the motor from the other bike up here and having a look at what I've got and what I'm going to need and talking a bit about what my plans are for those two motors. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, leave some comments, share with your friends, and if you're returning, I thank you very much for coming and watching the videos that I post. And until next time, catch you next video.